Alright guys, let us move on to the next topic. It is monopolistic competition. Okay. So let us see what the features are. First of all, there are many firms. There are a large number of firms, large number of sellers and buyers. Okay, so that is similar to the perfect competition. Large number of firms competing with each other. Then we have differentiated products. Okay. In the perfect competition, we had identical products, but here the products are differentiated, what we call heterogeneous. Okay, in perfect competition we call them homogeneous. Let's see, this is the key feature. Each firm's product is slightly different from the others due to branding, quality, design. This gives each firm a mini monopoly on its specific version. We will see what this means in just a moment. Non-price competition, advertisements. Okay, so there is competition among the firm, but in form of advertisements, because the products are not the same. Okay, they are differentiated, which is why each of the firm has to advertise their own products. They have to say that come buy our product because it is the best, right? Every firm has to do that because there is some or the other difference in the products. Low barriers to entry. It is relatively easy for new firms to enter the market, especially in the long run. We are talking about the long run, okay? Because in the short run, new firms do not enter the market, right? We have already seen in perfect competition also. So low barriers to entry, then some pricing power because its product is unique. A firm has small degree of control over its price. Okay, so there is some pricing power. The firm is not completely a price taker. Okay, because if the product is different enough or unique enough, the firm will have more and more power because there will be a lack of substitutes for it. Okay, for example, restaurants, coffee shops, hair salons, right? So they all provide a similar service, but each of them is unique. So for example, if you like the momos of the restaurant that is near you, or even if it is not near you, if you like momos from a specific restaurant, you will pay more. Even if their prices rise, you will still go to them, right? So because their product is unique to you. So let us see the graph now. Okay, we will draw one for short run and one for long run. Let us see what happens in the short run. So the only difference, difference that you can tell right by looking at the curve from monopoly in monopolistic competition is that, let us write that down also, the AR curve in monopolistic competition is flatter. Okay, because it is more price elastic. In monopoly, the demand curve is more price inelastic because of a lack of substitutes. Okay, in monopoly, even if the seller changes the price, your demand will not change so much because there is no substitute. But in monopolistic competition, there we know that the product is unique, but there is still more choices than the monopoly where there is only one seller. Obviously there are going to be more choices when there is such a large number of sellers. Okay, so we will see that we draw a relatively flatter AR curve than what we drew in monopoly, similarly with MR curve. Now the rest of the stuff here is going to be same. So let's draw a AC curve. This is MC curve. Wherever MR and MC meet, that is going to be equilibrium. Okay, so this is the point. Let us move the AC curve a little bit. Let us shift it so that it is at minimum of MC here. So this is going to be where it cuts the AR curve is the price, where it cuts the AC curve is the cost. So this is going to be the profit. This is going to be the profit of the firm. Okay, so we have seen that in short run, monopolistic competition can earn super normal profits or even losses Okay, that is a possibility in the monopolistic competition market type. Okay, now let us see what happens in the long run. In monopoly, we have seen that we draw only one graph because even in the long run, the monopolist can earn supernormal profits because there is only one firm. But let's see what happens here. Again, we'll take an AR curve and a MR curve. Okay, we draw the AC curve something like this. This is the point of minimum AC, and somewhere here we take MC. So again, MR is equal to MC at Q star. This is the equilibrium point. This is the equilibrium quantity. This is there, and this is where we get this. Now, you are going to notice something. You will see that from the point where MR is equal to MC, the quantity that we got, the equilibrium quantity that we got, when we draw that upwards to the AR curve, at that exact point, the AR curve is tangent to the AC curve. Okay, so you see that the price and cost is the same. C star is equal to P star. Okay, and that is not coincidental, that is by design, because in the long run, in monopolistic competition, there is, I'll slide that later, there is always normal profit. Very important, very important. That what we are trying to say is that in the long run there is always normal profit or zero profit in monopolistic competition as well, just like perfect competition. But why is that? The reason behind that is this and this, that there are low barriers to entry and there are a lot of firms. Okay, so what happens is that because in the short run the firms that have not yet entered the market, they see that there is a lot of potential profit in this market, so they are going to enter the market, they are going to enter the industry because the barriers to enter are very low. It is very easy to enter this specific industry. Maybe the startup cost is low or whatever it is, similar to the perfect competition. Okay, so because of that, as more and more firms enter, the profit starts to get more and more distributed, right? Everyone gets a share. So that keeps on repeating till the profit reaches down to absolutely zero. Till there are so many firms in the market that the profit reaches zero. Okay, but one interesting thing that you would have noticed is that minimum AC is here. It is not here. It goes even further below. So minimum AC being equal to the level of price here is not a necessary condition, but it was a necessary condition in the long run of perfect competition. Okay, so that is how the examiner is going to trick you. These are the properties that you have to memorize. Okay, and why is minimum AC not equal to price here? Because of the differentiated products, because of the assumptions that were in perfect competition but not here, there is some market inefficiency. Okay, there is some market inefficiency. Because of that, the firm is not operating at minimum cost. Okay, that is all it is. Now let us see if we are able to answer this previous year question. I believe this is from 2025 jam 2025. Okay, so consider the statements 1 and 2 in monopolistically competitive market. First, in the long run equilibrium, price of the good will be equal to minimum of average total cost. We have just seen that that is not the case. In the short run, firms may earn a positive profit. Yes, we have seen that also. In the short run, the firms can earn a profit, they can earn a loss, or they can break even, which means that cost can be equal to price also. That is also a possibility in the short run. Okay, so we say that this statement is wrong and this is correct. So first is false but two is true, so the third or C is absolutely correct. Okay, very easy question. It was question number 24, so this was also for 2 marks, right? So you can see how easy this entire topic is, the topic of market structure. It is so easy. All of these marks are absolutely free for you if you just understand these core concepts once. Okay, now this is a cheat sheet for you. Okay, you can take a screenshot, you can save this. Even if you skip the entire topic, I really believe that this cheat sheet should be more than enough for you to answer every theoretical, every conceptual question that is asked to you from among these market types. Okay, obviously the numerical part will be there for you. You will be able to answer the numericals better if you practice them a lot. Okay, so practice is going to be required there, but for the theoretical and conceptual part, this is more than enough, I think, obviously apart from what we have already done in class. Okay, so let us see. Perfect competition, monopolistic, oligopoly and monopoly. Let's see the number of sellers, very large, many firms in monopolistic. In oligopoly, there are a few dominant firms. In monopoly, there is a single seller. Nature of product, identical in perfect competition, differentiated in monopolistic. In oligopoly, it can be either. In monopoly, it is a unique product because there are no close substitutes. We have already seen that. Barriers to entry, there is no barrier to enter in the perfect competition. In monopolistic also, either there are none or there are low. In oligopoly, there are very high. Okay, significant barriers exist, which is why there are a few dominant firms. For example, in the automobile industry, right, there are a few players. Or you have heard in the big pharma, right? We talk about some industries where the startup cost is very high, where there are some legal barriers. Okay, or maybe you need some sort of connections to reach the top, so something or the other, but there are some barriers. Similarly, in monopoly, it is entirely blocked. New firm cannot enter in any case. Now, firms control over price. The in perfect competition, the firm has no control. It is a price taker. Similarly, in monopolistic, it has some control because the product is differentiated. Oligopoly, each firm has considerable control, but all the firms are interdependent. This is a key word. The second you see interdependent and you see that firms are dependent on each other, that the price of one firm is going to affect the price and quantity of another firm, that is the second, that is the point in time you should know it is talking about oligopoly. Similarly, in monopoly, firm is price maker. Demand curve, a perfectly elastic horizontal demand curve in the perfect competition. Downward sloping but relatively elastic. In monopolistic, we don't have a usual demand curve in the oligopoly. In monopoly, we have a downward sloping market demand curve. We have seen that already. Price versus marginal revenue. P is equal to MR in perfect competition. P is greater than MR in the rest. Price is greater than marginal revenue. AR is greater than MR in rest of these, which means AR curve lies above MR. Then short run equilibrium condition. We have seen this. In short run, P is equal to MC in perfect. Then rest is MR is equal to MC. Okay. Long run equilibrium condition. P is equal to MR is equal to AR is equal to MC is equal to minimum of ATC in perfect competition. In monopolistic, P is equal to price is equal to average cost, but not minimum average cost. Okay, we have two separate conditions are going to exist in monopolistic. First is P is equal to AC. Second is MR is equal to MC. In perfect competition, all of these were equal, but in monopolistic, these two and these two are separately equal. Okay. Similarly, in oligopoly, there is no single equilibrium. Okay, it is going to depend on what the first firm is going to do, but usually price is greater than marginal cost. Then in the monopoly, you know already, MR is equal to MC. long run economic profit, no profit in perfect competition, no profit in monopolistic, but there can be profit in the next two. Shutdown point, very 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 important, both in the long run and in the short run. Okay, it is very confusing. I believe it was asked in the 2025 paper also. Yes, I think that that they did ask it. So in short run, the firm is going to shut down. What is the shutdown point? The point when the firm has to shut down its operations. In the short run, if the price is even lesser than the minimum average variable cost, if the firm by its average revenue cannot even cover the average variable cost, the day-to-day cost or the operational cost per level of output, then we say that the firm is going to shut down. If the P is less, not equal to, not greater to, this less sign is very important. Okay, in the 2025 paper, they had given the same options, only the sign was different. Okay, and a lot of students made the same mistake. They ignored the sign. Okay, similarly, this is going to be the same in every type of market type, but the long run shutdown point is going to be different. Okay, and this is your homework to do your own research on what the long run one is. I'm just going to tell you that it is price when the price is less than the average total cost, because in the long run we also have to cover the fixed costs. Okay, now in the long run even the fixed costs are considered variable costs, even they can change. Okay, so we have to now talk about average total cost. Okay, so you have to understand that more in depth. That is your homework. What is the key differentiating feature for each of the market types? Wherever you see the firm is a price taker, that is your hint. That is where the examiner is shouting out to you that this is a perfect competition question. Similarly, product differentiation is usually it is talking about monopolistic competition. Strategic interdependence, always oligopoly, single firm in the industry, you already know that it is talking about monopoly. Now there are a lot of such similar cheat sheets that I have prepared in the short notes. Okay, for every important topic in every single subject, I have prepared such short notes that are going to be available on the website. Okay, you can go and visit the link in the description or in the profile, right? So these are going to be very very helpful to you, and not only is this going to be clearing all of your doubts or all of your concepts, this is going to be very efficient for you when you start your revision. Okay, it is going to save a lot of time for you. Okay, so be sure to go and check that out. Let us move on to the next question. Okay, this is a very easy numerical. It was asked in JAM 2025. I wanted to do it with you to show you that even when the concept is not that tough, students do still make a mistake, because there is a lot of calculation that is going to be involved in this question, and if you make the smallest mistake in the calculation part, your entire answer is going to be wrong. Okay, so if you haven't already noticed, I am doing these PYQs with you to clear your basic concepts. Okay, so first we did the price elasticity of demand. We have cleared how it is related to the marginal revenue and total revenue. Okay, and we also saw the graph. Then we have understood natural monopoly. Now we are going to understand how you solve a numerical like this. Okay, especially within the stipulated time. So let us just read the question. We can see that it is a monopolist who is producing two commodities, 1 and 2, in quantities x1 and x2. So these are the quantities that he is producing at a constant average cost of 2.5 and 3 per item. Okay, it is for x1 and x2. Now respectively, if p1 and p2 stand for the prices charged and we are given with the market demands, one thing that you are going to instantly notice is that the market demand of both the goods involve both p1 and p2. So both the goods are dependent on each other. The demand of x1 is also dependent on the price of x2, the good 2, right? So that is something that you can see here. So what we have to find is that the price P1 for commodity 1 at which the monopolist's total profit is maximized. So very easy question. You already know that the profit of the monopolist is maximized. We just have to take the profit function. Okay, then we take the derivative. We will take obviously in terms of P1 and P2 because that is the terms that the demand functions are in, and we are going to directly find P1 and P2 from there. Okay, let us try to solve it. Okay, so first of all, we write the profit function, which is total revenue minus total cost. In this specific case, you can write down it is equal to total revenue of good 1 plus total revenue of good 2 minus total cost of good 1 minus total cost of good 2. So let us calculate each of these individually really quickly. What is total revenue? It is price into quantity. Price is P1, the quantity is also given. So we can just write it is 5 P1 P2 minus P1 square, right? Similarly, you can write TR2, the total revenue of the second good, is you can multiply P2 into X2. So that is 32 P2 plus 5 P1 P2 minus 10 P2 square, right? Similarly, you can find the total costs. It will be 2.5 into X1. So that is 12.5 P2 minus 12.5 P1. Okay, so we missed a 5 here. Okay, it was multiplied to the entire bracket. Let me fix this. Okay, so this is the TC1. Similarly, TC2 also you can write. It is going to be 3 into this. So 96 plus 15 P1 minus 30 P2. Simple. Now you can just put these values in the first equation that we got. This was the first equation. Okay, so you can just add tr1 and tr2. So it will be, you can write 32 P2 plus 10 P1 P2 minus 5 P1 square minus 10 P2 square. Okay, then you can subtract the TC values, you can add them up also. So you will get plus 96. So this is, we are subtracting this whole thing. So in brackets 96, then 15 P1 and plus 2.5 P1, then 30 P2 and 12. We are subtracting that also. It is in negative. So 17.5 P2. You can just further solve that. You will and you can make some mistakes here and there, but you have to keep checking where you are making a mistake, right? Keep looking back. That is the rule. Now we can just write that the profit is equal to, you can just write the 49.5 P2 plus 10 P1 P2 minus 5 P1 square So now we can just take the derivative really quickly. First we take it, the partial, we do partial differentiation with respect to P1. So we get 10 P2 minus 10 P1 minus 2.5 is equal to 0. So you can just write that 10 P2 minus 10 P1 is equal to 2.5. So this is your first equation. Then you take it with respect to P2. Then you will get 49.5 plus 10 P1 minus 10, this is, okay, minus 20 minus 20 P2 is equal to 0, right? So you can just write 20 P2 minus 10 P1 is equal to 49.5. Okay, so what you can do is you can just subtract the first equation from the second one. So this will be this will become plus, this will become this will cut. 10p2 is equal to for this is what, 0.5 and 47. So p2 will be 4.7, p1 will be, you can put this in the first equation itself. So 47 minus 10 p1 is 2.5. Okay, we know 47 minus 10 p1 is 2.5, so you take it here. So this becomes 44.5 is equal to 10 p1. P1 is equal to 4.45. So P1 is 4.45. That is the profit maximizing value of it. We had, right. So we had to find the price P1 for commodity 1 where the profit is maximized. 4.45 is the answer. And it is also asking to two decimal places. Right? Very easy. It is just a bunch of calculation, and the more you practice, I have done it slowly on purpose, right? I have done every single step, right? In the exam, when you have more than enough practice, you don't have to write the formula first and then tr1 tr2, right? You just take the values because you know what to write and where to write. Okay, so this would hardly take like two minutes, I think. Shouldn't take more than 2 minutes.